am Shannon Miller, back with Seize the Day, and I'm here with Allie Steele.
Hi, Shannon.
It's good to see you again. Well, we're out here about to have an amazing experience out at Caddyshack, but before we get there, I always want to introduce you to our audience and make sure that they know what you're going through, because this is part of Seize the Day, is bringing these stories and awareness to women. Now, I know we tend to think of diagnosis as a bad thing, but in some ways it's good because it means that it was detected, and many times early detection simply gives you options. When were you detected?
We're here.
We're here. So at least if it's detected, you can do something about it.
April 2010, they diagnosed me with stage 3 ovarian cancer. And it was late in the evening, and my life suddenly just took a turn and speeded up to, oh my gosh. And everybody around me, doctors that were making appointments, and I was going to the Mayo Clinic, and I had to report to this time, at that time, and I was on just a mission to get everything lined up for surgery, which was 1 week later. Oof. And I had like 1 week to put everything in its place, bring my son, who helped me with my business, and introduce him to all the people and get him passes and badges to military installations that he never had to be involved with before. And the irony was that everything worked like clockwork. And I thought, this doesn't happen.
It's a new efficiency.
It's an efficiency.
Certainly.
I am in efficiency mode, and this doesn't happen. But it did happen. And I just found myself deciding to go along with the program and do everything I could do to be cooperative, at the least.
And one thing that you mentioned was feeling like you were on a merry-go-round.
Oh, yes.
I know that I felt like the whole cancer journey was and is a roller coaster ride, but you're right, the medical portion, you get on, you can't get off.
You cannot get off the merry-go-round. You hold on to that horse
as tight as you can,
because it starts to speed up, and then it slows down, and it's not your time to exit. So you just stay on that medical merry-go-round, you keep all your appointments in there. It's your life becomes a very, very different reality. Mm-hmm. And it just changes everything. And I know that I did know very many people that personally went through it. Those that I did truly did not have a good track record. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to get into that vein, that thinking like that. Right. So I made a decision early in the game that I would go through this, I would do everything they told me to do, and we would all persevere. We would all be fine.
Absolutely.
And we are.
And how are you doing now?
I'm doing great.
Doing great.
It's 18 months later. I've been very lucky to be involved in a trial with a trial drug at Mayo, and I have finished that contract. My trial is over.
Yay.
I'm on my own. November 23rd, I go back for my scans at Mayo, and I very well expect them to say I'm absolutely fine.
Absolutely.
Shannon, because I'm having 18 people from my house to dinner the next day, Thanksgiving Day.
And it better be.
So I hope my efficiency mode still kicks in. I'm going to need it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, and I think one of the most interesting things, and maybe it's not that interesting, but you know, you thought, I'm healthy, this body has served me well.
Yes.
Hey, you guys, you can check out all your stuff, but it's not cancer.
It is not cancer. I am of age. Well, yes, I might be having a lot of a problem. Obviously, I'm having a problem. Nobody would go through all this much trouble for nothing. Yeah, I will have a problem, but they're crazy. I will not have cancer. I eat right. I don't smoke. I do all the right things. I exercise. Not me. And the proverbial not me.
Yep.
And when I woke up from surgery, and my first thought was to my husband, was this necessary? And I was a little bit like, he says, definitely. And then I was on the Discovery Channel. Now we tune into Discovery. How bad? Very bad. Oh, what's the outcome? Not good. What's my problem? Well, we'll do the best we can, and you know, a lot of it is up to you.
You're the doctor.
Yeah. Well, I'm not the doctor.
No, they're the doctor.
What do you say about that? And they go, well, you know, we do the best, and we have a lot of new therapies, and wait a minute, new therapies. What happened to the other people? And honestly, Shannon, what happened to the other people? After 2 years, 51% died. After 5 years, perhaps with the second type of chemotherapy, they tell me that 48% of the people were still alive. And I went, well, what happened to the other 51%?
Yeah.
Well, they're no longer with us. So now we're going to do this trial. We hope that will be life extending.
Well, and that's one thing that's so important, especially with ovarian cancer. Sure. It is called the silent killer for a reason. And it's women like you that are willing to speak up and be vocal so that we can create awareness and education about this disease. And I want to ask you before we've got to wrap this up, because we've got to go see some cats. I do want
about me.
We want to hear all about you. One of the things you mentioned is this philosophy, and you sent me this quote that that really helped you through your journey, and it says, "What is the mission? Who's on the team? Surround yourself with the best people, and we'll all get out of here alive."
That's the truth. I'm a military rep. I was a military rep. I worked up at Parris Island, South Carolina, and for a lot of years I've watched the Marines, and I admired what they do. It's not something I could ever do. I would never.
It takes a very special person.
But the philosophy, that is the philosophy, is a credo. I picked it up somewhere, and we don't cry. You say, okay, this is the deal. What's the mission? Who's my team? Hopefully you surround yourself with the best people, and we'll all get the hell out of here alive. and that's what you have to trust. And that's what I did. And for me personally, it worked.
Absolutely.
I would tell anybody, if they find out you're going through this, yeah, it's not the best news in the world. It truly is not the best news. But do not be afraid. It is not the death sentence that it was yesteryear. They are people who, the medicines are very good. And if you have the right attitude, I think we're going to make it. I really do. I did this trial because I have daughters, I have granddaughters. I want them to remember that Nanny did something that said, yeah, we're going to make it. We're not going to lay down and just say, oh, wow, this happened to me. How could this happen to me? I didn't deserve this. The answer to that is, why not?
Yeah.
That's all. It happens. Wow. It's something we have to live with, but they can cope with it. And you'll cope with it, and don't say no to help. That's
yes,
the other thing.
That's it. So
that's not going to be. They're going to know that. Don't say no to help.
And that's one of the hardest
want to
times.
Help you. And if you're a very efficient person, like I try to promote myself as being, you just feel, I can do everything myself. No, you cannot do everything yourself. No one expects you to. And
when they want to bring over dinner and come clean your house, let them do that.
Learn to say thank you, because you're going to need it, and you'll be the first one willing to do it for somebody else.
Absolutely.
And we're all in this together. We really are. It's a very small world, and I've learned and I've met the most amazing people, including yourself.
Aww.
And you're so young. That is the thing. But we're going to make it, Shannon.
We're going to make it. We're going to make it together.
You're going to take your baby to college.
That's right. And we're going to go see some cats right now. Yes. We're here at Caddyshack. But before we go, don't forget, if you're going through an issue like this, if you know someone going through an issue, who's on your team? What's your mission? I got those backward. What's your mission? Who's on your team? You know what? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Because you got to find those people to surround yourself. Keep positive attitude. And we'll see you at the finish line.
Thank you, United States Marine Corps.